Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1. Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're checking out Remnant from the Ashes. We're specifically checking out AMD FSR and Intel XeSS, how it's going to look and perform. We're going to go ahead and start with AMD's FSR in ultra performance mode at 4K. So, all right, now I do have this on my 4K screen. What we're looking at, I mean, as you can see down there, you'll start to see like the stuff kind of blinking and fluttery back there. Overall, image quality does look a little bit smeary and a little bit blurry. It doesn't look fuzzy anymore with FSR 2.1. It just kind of looks um, and as you can see, like when you turn the camera, like hyper turn, it like gets kind of breaks up a little bit, but it just has that more like it it just has more of like a blurry look to it, not necessarily fuzzy, just blurry look. So now we're gonna go ahead and walk down this way all the way to the billboard right down there, and then we will come back and we'll switch it back over. Just kind of give you guys an idea of how it looks like in motion and stuff. For the most part, like this actually looks good, and you can see like the amount of frame rate that you get. Actually, it was probably, yeah, I think that was about right. I was thinking maybe now that I'm recording it, it's a little bit lower, but no, because see, we're starting to get over into the hundreds right through here. So yeah, we're good. I am recording this at 4K at 100 bit rate, so this should look pretty dang good. Now my screen is gonna top out at 120, like right here. Obviously, we're maxing out on my screen. If you look back that way, it's going to like the FPS is gonna drop again. But I would say that this here is overall playable, like definitely playable for a game like this. Still looks pretty dang nice for the most part. Does look a little bit softer overall, but we'll see how the different grades actually line up on this one, because this is an interesting experience having Unreal Engine 5 in a game like this that looks realistic for, to an extent, but also has, like it has more of like that realistic tone. All right, so now we're going to switch over to performance mode. We're going to get in here, we're going to go down here, and then we'll switch right over to performance, and we'll get back in. Now, immediately, you can see that the picture quality, let's look down there. You can see that it's not as, like the stuff, I mean, you can see like the last couple of lines under that awning that are kind of blinking, but not anything else. So this one right here, the performance quality one, actually bumps that up pretty dang good. Like this here looks a lot better overall. I mean, you can still see like in motion, like that thing right there was kind of fizzing out a little bit. Some of the straight lines and stuff will fizz out, but the overall vegetation looks a lot cleaner. Um, Kind of has like a little bit smaller. I mean, like that up there, you can see that there looks pixelated, but small pixels. Everything else kind of looks a little bit better. Everything within your eyesight, really nice looking, really sharp, really crisp. I'm hoping that this video turns out really, really nice and that you guys can see the quality levels of FSR as you're going through and looking at this. So we'll see what our frame rate tops out at. It does stay pretty consistent for the most part in that heavier area. That grass area behind us, the vegetation area, is actually pretty freaking heavy. So let's see what we can top out right here. So going from performance or ultra performance to performance lost us about 15 frames in that area. And you'll notice that like this right here is a pretty heavy part for some reason with all of this vegetation. Settings are at ultra, so we will see frame rates once we get up into quality and stuff that will be down in the 40s for sure. For sure. So This is just showing you the different levels of FSR technology, and then we'll do the XeSS. Now, I am going to do the walking back and forth just so that you guys can get a better representation of how this goes. So, all right. Now, as we turn our back around, now we'll get back in here and we'll check this out. I hope you guys like these type of videos, man. I really do. They do take a little bit of time to make, but they're fun. So now we're to balanced. Let's see what balanced looks like. Okay, so that overall, textures look a little bit sharper. Trees look a little bit crisper. There's no more blur in there. That tree up there still looks pixelated. Under the bridge from right here, you cannot see any visible flickering until you zoom in on it. Then you can kind of see a little bit. You still got this screen right here and that screen right there that are kind of flickering. And this is balanced, but everything does look a lot sharper, a lot crisper, easily. Like this here would probably be that balanced. The balanced would actually probably be the best, because you see how we're in the 60s as we're trucking back through this vegetation. Now we're getting into the 50s. Whew. Man, this one might not actually be. I was like, gosh dang it, if it would have stayed in the 60s through here, I would have been like, yeah, this is pretty good. But I mean, overall, like, I'm not feeling any like screen judder or anything like that. It's well within the VRR range of this TV, of the FreeSync range of this TV, which is like 40. So let's see what we get when we get over here. Balanced, we're in the 90s, so we lost about another 15 frames per second. So let's go ahead and walk back this way, see what our frame rate stays like. Fairly close to 60-ish. Does look a little bit heavier going the other way through here. Yeah, so 60. I mean, we'll kind of jog backwards every time so it doesn't take super long for this video, but I feel like we're going to get a pretty decent. So we're just on balance, so let's go ahead and switch on over to, I think the Lord there's only balanced and quality, right? So balanced was looking pretty good, and this looks absolutely pretty nice. Like this looks very, very sharp. But as you see, like we're in the 50s area starting out over here on our little walk. Let's go back up here. Definitely not even pointing at it. No, there is still some breakup over there. You can still see these guys right here. Those straight lines are still kind of fluttering. Trees actually look very sharp, very crisp. Doesn't look bad at all now. That there looks a little bit less pixelated now. There's actually a little bit more color in there as well. All right, let's go ahead and start trucking along and seeing how this looks. This actually probably looks as close to 4K as possible. I guess we'll even try native 4K as well. We'll see what that looks like. We'll walk back and then we'll jog back the other way. Yeah, this looks good too. I mean, we are hitting 40 frames a second, sub 50. So I mean, this is still somewhat playable, still definitely within the VRR range, so it would feel pretty close to 60. Like you could still easily play this and have this level of quality. But yeah, you are getting, you know, sub 50 in heavier areas. So all right. Yeah, about 15 frames each time. Look at that. So you're getting about 15 frames off. All right, now we'll go ahead and jog back. And then we will switch this to native, and we'll try native 4K. Probably should have started with, oh yeah, no, native is the next one down, and we'll see how the picture quality looks with native versus the quality mode. I feel like this mode right here would still be playable. I mean, if you really had to have that quality or whatever, I feel like you could do it here. All right, so let's go over here and we'll check out. Uh, we'll just go ahead and turn this off to none. We're going full 4K native. And now let's see over here. I'm going to say FSR looks, quality looks pretty dang good. But if you look back there, no flickering. Our doors right here are barely flickering with native resolution. So you do get that little bit of flicker on that stuff. We'll go ahead and walk the 30 FPS walk of doom. This right here is a really heavy area. So this is really good for benchmarks. Really good. Especially like the cutscenes, because they're all locked at max 60 frames a second. So you can definitely see, ooh man, we're sub 30 frames a second in this heavier area. We are sub 30 frames at 4K native. That's what I'm saying about Unreal Engine 5. This is a very, very heavy engine. And we don't even have Lumen in here. We have just freaking Nanite. Which Nanite's awesome. There's no freaking pop in or nothing. You don't see anything ever pop in. The only thing you're seeing pop in this game are going to be shadows and stuff like that. But at ultra settings, you're not even going to really see like the shadows popping in. So let's see just how far native takes us down once we get to this billboard. We were at like 75-ish or whatever. So we can get up to 45 frames a second native. All right, now let's jog back. Boop, 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 boop. So I think a balanced is probably pretty good, and maybe even performance is all right for this. You know, quality wise, it looked pretty good. Now we're gonna go ahead and switch over to XeSS. So we'll start with the lowest form of XeSS. Let's get over to systems options. Come on down and we'll go boom, boom, and we'll go to the lowest. Okay, so I guess it starts out at performance. Nice. There's no ultra performance or anything. Okay, so automatically that takes us up to 70 something. Really? We were getting much higher with wow, but performance looks pretty dang good actually. But you're not getting nowhere near as many freaking. Okay, so let's check out our spots. So under the bridge doesn't shutter. Dang man, performance looks very, very nice on XeSS. Start our little walk. I mean, you can see it kind of break up a little bit on these things right here when you were walking. Not very bad though. Actually, this looks absolutely great. Performance looks very good on this. And they did say that they specifically made this game. Well, they're counting on freaking upscaling techniques to make this a more stable experience. And for the most part, like that's obviously true because we're still at 4K, we're running at performance, we're getting a playable frame rate all the way through that area, which was pretty heavy. Like we'll see how high we get up because I think we were getting 120 with performance, ultra performance. Yeah, so we're getting nowhere near the FSR 2. But this is very, very nice in performance mode. This actually looks very good in XeSS. Very good. I'm curious to see how XeSS is going to hold up once we get to like ultra quality in that mode. Because this looks pretty good. Like you could easily play this like this and have a good looking image quality. Okay, so now let's go back in there. Switch over to options. Let's go on down here to performance, and now we are at balanced. Yeah, those trees. Yeah, that looks even better. But now we're even balanced. We're gonna be sub 60 walking through here. So yeah, balanced is. But oh wait, we didn't check out our. I mean, I can already tell you like that. There's not gonna flicker. That there's might flicker a little bit when you're moving the camera and stuff. But overall, image quality definitely nicer. Oh, you see that flicker while you're walking now? Overall, the image quality looks good, but gosh, we're getting sub 60 through here just with balanced. I don't know, man. That's going to be a tough sell. Performance, it looks like, with XeSS is going to be your go-to. That's probably what I would recommend, to be completely honest with you. That way you're going to stay over your 60, and you'll have a better performance that way. Oh, I don't know. It might, because there's a lot of corridors in this game, so this might actually work for you too at balanced. So, all right, let's jog back and see what's going on. Still got 2 more levels to check out on this XeSS. This will be a pretty short video. This will only be like 20 minutes, so you guys will be all right with this one. This is pretty nice. All right, now we're back here. Let's go ahead and jump back into that XeSS Balanced. Quality. Definitely looks better. Definitely looks pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, all of that stuff is gone. XeSS is definitely a more stable upscaler than FSR overall. Like, this is definitely more stable. Actually, look at this. You're about 50. You're in your 50s still walking through here. So with a good, oh no, now you're sub 50. Ooh, this is the heavy part right here, and I don't know why, but that gets heavy. So you're sub 50s through here. So I'd say your overall experience would probably be right around, yeah, about 45. So my TV, as long as we're over 40, I won't see screen tearing, and it will stay smooth, because this looks really, really smooth. Let's see where we get up to. See, that's the thing with XeSS. You don't lose a whole lot of frame rate as you go up each notch. You're losing maybe 10 frames, maybe 8 or 10 frames or something. So that's not bad. FSR was about a 15 frame drop per level. This right here, see, I mean, running back through here, you're still over 50. So I feel like that there would be that would still be playable on a 120 FPS screen. Like, you'd get a better overall frame rate on that. So let's go ahead and jump over to the top dog, which is ultra quality. Now, ultra quality, yeah, that looks pretty crispy. Let's see our, yeah, that looks nice. You still got the little blinking over here on this thing up here, but this looks significantly more stable. But you are just above 40. Let's see how far it goes down over here in this really heavy spot right about now. Yep, we're getting into the 30s. Staying in the 30s. Yeah, so this one here, I don't know if this would be a good mode for my TV. I'm not seeing any like screen tearing or anything just yet, but I know VRR flicker, so that's a good thing as well. So let's see what we get to in here. So in the corridor area, you could probably get up into the 60s. But overall image quality definitely nicer. This one here almost gives you frame rates that are pretty much in line with what you would be getting at, well, I mean, a little bit higher than native. Just a little bit higher than native. You could potentially lock this at a 30 frames per second lock. Let's see if we can. Let's get over there, go in there. At 30 frames. You could definitely lock this at 30 frames, but I'll tell you what, you get like the 30 frames per second flicker now with that, where you wasn't getting it before. That's weird. That is very, very weird. So, yeah. That's not bad, man. That's some pretty decent upgrade tech on here, and you can use all of that on an AMD card. So, I'm pretty much recommending like Balanced with AMD. Well, let's see. Let's go back over here. Let's go ahead and take our frame rate back up to 120. Take this back over to AMD FSR, and then Balanced. Let's see what that one was doing for us. Balanced has still got us in the over 60s right here. Let's see how much we drop in the middle real quick before we... Let's just run over there and see what we get into. Yeah, I think this one here is probably the lowest you'd be able to go on AMD's. Is probably the Balanced mode. And Balanced mode was actually looking pretty dang good. This actually looks pretty good. This doesn't look too terrible. So I feel like you could run through this with Balanced and still get really good 4K image quality. This still looks absolutely incredible. So I do think that you can get this. You start going over in this way, and your frame rate is going to be corridor wise. Let's go check out corridor wise. See how that's going to look on Balanced. Because I think this is probably the recommendation that I would recommend for it. Because yeah, you'll be able to get really decent frame rate, and it looks absolutely incredible. This looks very, very nice in here. Yeah, this does not look too terrible at all. I mean, we can also go out here. Sorry, I'm just adding a little bit more time to this video because we're gonna check out 1440p on this and see how it looks at ultra settings. So we're gonna come right here. We're gonna come over to settings. I mean, you could probably take this to 1800p and still get very, very nice looking game. So AMD FSR, we'll go with quality at 1440p. Let's see what that for us. Keep settings. Wow, did it just lock us at 60? How did we get locked at 60? We are locked at 60 frames a second. I'm not using like anything on here. Let's take it off. None. Yeah. Wow, 1440p locks us at 60 frames a second. That is absolutely insane. Why would it lock us? The 1440p on this game with ultra settings doesn't look bad at all either. It does look a little bit softer, but you could easily play this on a 4K screen like this. Easily. That's weird. Wow, really? Yeah, look at this. It's going to drop us down right here. That is one heavy spot through that game. How is it locking us to 60 frames a second? That is weird. Alright, well. Alright, guys. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.